Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to Adobelive. I am your host, Izzy, brand designer from Ottawa, Canada, and I'm here with my friend, Lilla Lorand Peachee, brand and packaging designer from Wilmington, North Carolina. How are you today, Lilla?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. What will we be working on today?
We'll be creating a brand identity for a gourmet pet food subscription. And today we
Oh.
are going to focus on the stylescape images that you guys can, at the end of the day, decide which direction to go in on the second day.
That is amazing. As a pet mom myself, I know that we will be having a lot of fun. I want to say hi to everyone in the chat. And obviously, thank you so much for being here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And quick note before we get started, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Adobelive channel on YouTube to stay up to date to our latest streams, participate with the Adobelive community, and so much more. If you've missed the previous stream, you can always watch the replay on Behance or YouTube and check out Magali Polverino as she designs creative posters for a food photography in Photoshop. And I must say, I did check it out and it is chef kiss, pun intended. I can't wait to get started to work with you, Lila. I know we are going to geek out like crazy. So please take the stage and introduce yourself and go more in depth into what we will be working on.
Awesome. Thank you, Izzy. Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm Lilla, a track athlete turned brand and packaging designer and healthy lifestyle lover. My roots are in Hungary, but I'm currently living on the east coast of North Carolina with my husband and furry family members. I actually have 3 of them, a dog and 2 cats. And I'm really hoping that soon I'm going to be a dual citizen. In college, yeah, fingers crossed. In college, I majored in graphic design, which led me down the path of becoming a brand and packaging designer. And actually, a fun fact about this is that I minored in mathematics, which is, I know, is a super odd combo, but at the time I made sense because I really did not want to write papers.
That is super cool, though. This is such a great skill to have. I wish I had that.
It comes handy sometimes in design, especially when I try to use geometrics or the golden ratio. That's where I use it most. But other than that, it's just a fun fact.
I love this.
So because of my active lifestyle and past, I mainly focus on helping natural product-based businesses and businesses that promote healthy lifestyle. And I try to also reflect this within my portfolio. One of my favorite projects is Live Holistic. And I created brand and packaging design for her with the objective to increase her brand awareness and number of online orders. Her brand uses self-care as a vehicle to fill everyone's cup, both figuratively and literally, because she donates 10% of her profit to help people have access to clean drinking water. And her vision was to create a community that makes people have a better self-esteem and help them be the best selves they can be when they are caring about themselves. And here I kind of break down some of the brand with the brand anatomy. The logo idea just came from the water drop of filling everyone's cup. And the diamond itself is resembling the donation that she does with her business. When we scroll down, we can see all the logo variations just to make sure her brand is very versatile and she's able to use her brand in every situation. And actually, her brand pattern came from a Fijian Mashi pattern because her business started out in Fiji when she was in the Peace Corps as a volunteer. Here is a little before and after.
I love that you have this on your case studies. And I might add to everyone in the chat right now, Lilla does some amazing case studies. So you're showing your Behance page right now, correct?
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
link some of my portfolio pieces to Behance because
Yeah.
I like how it is I'm able to showcase all my projects there.
Yeah. And so I would highly encourage everyone to go and check like Lila's Behance because everything is so organized, so perfect. The way it's presented, it's a model to follow.
Thank you. Yeah, it's taking a while, so that's why I don't have a whole lot of projects on because it actually requires a lot of work to put in. But I like to show what the process was really throughout the project.
And which is why we're here today too.
Here is some of the packaging I designed for her. She mainly focuses now on community, like self-care community, as she changed her business model a little bit, but some of these products are still available on her online store, which is cool to see your design in physical form too.
The mockups are so good.
Thank you.
And the animations too. Oh, and you have a picture of that. That's right.
Yeah,
I remember seeing her.
This. And actually, after our project together, she was able to increase her TikTok following from 8,000 to 100,000 at the time when she gave me this testimonial. And I'm pretty sure it's over 200,000 by now because she really honed into the ICA that we created together.
Hey, brand consistency, it does a lot. More business owners should take some notes right now.
One of my other projects that I really, really liked was raw functional nutrition because it was with a local nutritionist. And her objective was also very similar to Liv's, that we wanted to increase her brand awareness and number of repeat clients. She wants to have people create sustainable health habits for a better life. And she recognizes that it starts at childhood. So she's trying to educate parents who have children so they can provide an environment to their children, a healthy environment to their children, and the children then can carry on these healthy habits. And again, very similarly, I am very like a template type of person. I like to be I like to speed up my process sometimes, so I templatize everything that I can. It's still very unique to each brand, but it helps my work to be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that is great. It's good to have a process, but that's it. Then you need to modify sometimes your approach to the problem, but the process remains the same.
Right. And this is how I also show clients that I have a built out process, because that's what they really want to see, that they can have confidence in you, that you know what you are doing because you have done it many different times. And some of the brand elements and colors. And here is again a before and after image.
I love
just to show what we had.
Wow. Yeah, there's a big difference. I think I recognize your mock-ups. I think I bought the same library.
Yeah, I love these, especially because you can vary them so many different ways. Like it's always a different mock-up at the end of the day.
And I know this library also came with a lot of props that you can add into to create your own kind of background stuff like this. You created that. Yeah.
Yes. I absolutely love these.
This is amazing.
Thank you. But I guess enough about me. Shall we hop into our project today?
We definitely should. While we are getting all set up, I want to say hi to Steve, who is in the chat and is from, I believe, New Zealand. I want to say hi to Rob, to Kristen. Hey, Kristen, nice to see you. Francisco and Wade, who will be our chat moderator today. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much And today we are gonna create a brand identity or stylescapes. Actually, today's project is for Fresh Paw, an all natural gourmet food subscription service. This is a conceptual project just for this Adobelive, so I can share my process with you guys, what I go through and how I present certain things to clients. And the who and why of this project is Sophie, a dog lover chef who wanted to give something more than just kibbles to her furry friend. And after studying dog nutrition, she started creating each gourmet meal in her kitchen when she realized that most people don't have the time and energy and culinary knowledge to do this for their pups at home. She wanted to make it simple for other dog lovers to provide nutrition gourmet food with honest and clean ingredients, but without the hustle of cooking every day for their four-legged family members. She created this meal plan for dogs, but would like to add later on cats and other pets as well. So we would like to be able to have a brand that is also expandable. Her ideal customer is Brenda, a busy single working female who lives in the city with her furry BFF Taco. She lives an active and healthy lifestyle, only buys high quality organic food made with ethically sourced ingredients, and loves to spoil taco, but unable to find freshly made gourmet food options that would satisfy taco's special dietary needs. She's willing to pay a premium price for the happiness of her companions. So we would like to also show quality with our concepts today.
And, absolutely. I feel like I fit into that archetype of you'll be designing for me.
I sometimes feel I kind of describe myself too with this archetype or ideal customer.
Absolutely. I think that's always the case whenever you're doing a fictional brand. You're like, you can go crazy with your ideas and be like, this is a brand that I would like to see on the shelves. So.
Exactly. Because who wouldn't buy if you don't want to buy it, you know, like
exactly.
You must want to buy what you create.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how many of the people present in the chat are familiar with brand archetypes.
Oh, that's a great question. So there's always a tiny delay with the chat, but that's it. How familiar are you with brand archetype?
So for those of you who actually are not familiar with brand archetypes are universally recognized figures that stand for basic human motivations and emotions. Brand builders use these to bring human characteristics into brand, as we consumers like to connect with people and not products and services. And there are actually 12 main archetypes: the caregiver, creator, entertainer, explorer, everyman, hero, innocent, lover, magician, rebel, ruler, and the sage. And today we are going to focus on the innocent archetype. This archetype is actually, the goal of this archetype is to create happiness, spread optimism, and simplify and purify life with a mindset of being good, doing good, and having fun while you are doing that. The brand voice is supposed to be simple and concise language and cheerful, optimistic verbs sprinkled in there. The customers should feel hopeful, encouraged, and joy. Normally, I get this information that I have on this page throughout a brand strategy session, which takes about 4 hours between me and my client. And if they don't have, an idea about ideal customer yet or the why behind their business, then we are trying to figure that out. So it can take up several hours, but it helps us kind of bring everything on the same page and make sure that I'm understanding what their goal is with their business.
That's it. It's important to know who you're designing for and why you're designing for. It just creates like a better design product in the end, and it's good to have some direction. Whenever a client says, you have full freedom, that's like alert, alert.
Right. It's like you gotta give me actually directions because
Exactly.
otherwise I'm just gonna show you what I wanna see.
Exactly. And you might not be happy in the end. So
Exactly, exactly.
we
And this
have,
also, oh, sorry, go
oh,
ahead.
I was just going to say, we have, I think it's Shaya, who is saying, as a UX designer, I'm quite familiar with brand architects. So
That's awesome. That's good to hear because I know a lot of designers are familiar, but there are still some who haven't heard of it. And I know when I first heard of them, my mind was just blown.
I'm surprised you knew them all by heart. I know a few, but I don't know them all by heart. Like you just recited them like it was a poem that you learned in preschool.
I actually memorized them before the live, so
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't mess it up.
I love this. All right. So we're also designing a bit for Taco today as well, because this is technically the consumer of the product.
Right. But we are also keeping Brenda in mind because she is the one who is going to purchase the product.
But she still needs to see Taco as like part of the brand. Yeah.
Exactly. So we are definitely going to have some pet pictures in there too.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I can't wait to dive in.
I actually would like to have the help of our viewers with figuring out which color palettes to use on our cellscapes today. And while we are waiting for the answers, and I created 2 palette options for each cellscape. So just please, if you could drop the name of the color palette into the chat, that would be great to kind of see which options are the most popular. And while we are waiting for that, in case someone that is not familiar with stylescapes, these are combination of curated images, patterns, textures, and fonts to help you demonstrate your idea to your client, and they could see how their brand look and feel would be. We could think of them as a mood board on steroids. I really like to use this because it gives a more wholesome pictures to clients than just a mood board, and they could really see how certain elements would interact with each other.
Absolutely. And whenever you, and that's basically the whole goal of this stream, right? It's how to present the stylescape to a client. So I know there will be a lot of great tips in here just from your case studies on Behance. So it's like, this will be super fun. So we have Becca saying palette 1, specifically fresh energy. We have Steve saying 1 with British Racing Green, please. Then we have Wade saying palette 1, and we have Todd, which Todd, this is our mutual friend. Hi, Todd. Thank you for tuning in. And Todd is saying natural bliss. So it looks pretty unanimous right now with palette 1.
Okay, let's bring these colors into our Photoshop document that I already prepared. I'm just gonna minimize this a little bit so I can bring over the colors easier. And here are already prepared stylescape boards. And let's bring these colors in. So it's just easier to grab the color options. Actually, I brought them into board 2, so they are right there. Let me just open up this window a little more. All right, let's start by adding the color options. I'm just gonna eyedrop each color from our color palette, so later on I can just use these bigger circles when I want to add the color to something else.
So that's it. So you had created the little Elisp circle already in your template, and now you're just changing colors.
Exactly. Okay. Let's bring these colors over to the other direction and add these into those color palettes as well. I love the eyedropper tool. It's so easy to just grab colors with them without having to type everything in.
Oh, yes. I do this all the time as well.
All right, now we can get rid of those palettes and we can start on designing our first direction. I'm just gonna minimize this artboard so it's not in the way. And I, before this show, I actually loaded some elements already in, so I'm not dragging and dropping everything as we are going. And I thought we would be able to use these fun food patterns, food illustrations as like a brand pattern for this stylescape. And let's add the color overlay on these with the green, the dark green, as that is going to be one of our main primary colors. Let's just start arranging elements here a little bit. Bring them a little closer together. I'm going to just use the auto select tool so it's easier to move them around more easier than just trying to find each layer.
I love this new-ish feature because before everything was layered, and maybe I'm aging myself by saying this. But this or maybe it's it was something that you need to click. I think that's why I think you need to have it set up that you can use the direct selection tool, or sorry, the selection tool, and or just layers, depending on how you prefer to work.
Yeah, it can be kind of a backdraw too sometimes when I forget that I have it checked and I start clicking, and when I want to move actually something else,
yes,
and I'm dragging every elements that I don't want to. But like now, for instance, I was dragging that
the
background.
Yeah. All right. Do you lock your layers sometimes if ever you're doing some tedious work like this?
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. Just locking them. So I'm not moving those. It's easier to probably just select them, to select each element too.
And did you design these little icons?
Actually, I downloaded them from Adobe Stock.
Amazing.
Yeah, there are so many awesome resources on Adobe Stock, not just stock images, but mockups and illustrations, patterns. So when I already have a clear direction and I'm trying to speed up some process just to give an idea to clients, I just grab those elements so they can at least envision the direction I'm going. And if they really want me to recreate them so they could make them their own fully, then I'll do illustrations as well.
Love it. Smart way of working.
Work smarter, not harder, right?
That is so true.
Oops, I selected both of them. I'm just kind of moving these together so we have a nice cluster, and I'll duplicate some of these dots in a little bit. So it would create a nice little background pattern.
That cabbage is life right now. I love how it's created.
I bet it took a minute.
Oh, for sure. So you can see the spiral without it being a spiral, if that makes sense.
Because I want them to look like they are falling. That's why I'm rotating most of these. just to give a little movement into the design itself.
Makes sense.
All right, and let's add some of these dots.
So
here I'm just gonna duplicate. Sorry?
There is a pineapple there. Is that so? I'm not really familiar with what a dog can eat, because I've never owned dogs. I love dogs, but I'm very much a cat person. Can a dog eat a pineapple?
Yes, they can. Obviously,
Holy.
you know, just like with any fruit, you have to be giving them in limitations because they are pretty high in sugar. So just like
That
you
makes
don't want
sense.
your kids to eat a lot of candy, you don't want your animals to eat a lot of sugar either.
I did not know that.
I
That is
actually
crazy.
kind of researched it too because I had to make sure that my dog can eat it because she would want to take it every single time we were cutting up some.
We have Adam in the chat saying, loving the color palette. Hi, Adam. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, Adam. Thank you for being here. It's nice to see you. Or
know you're here.
Yeah, know that you are
here. Adam was previously on Adobelive too. I think it was 2 months ago, and designed a wonderful gin brand, which was really cool.
It was absolutely mesmerizing watching him work with the pen tool.
Oh yeah, it was. Hashtag jealous of Adam's abilities. Oh, and we have Caroline. Hey, Caroline. Caroline was actually on Adobelive last week, and did an amazing psychedelic poster, which was insane. And then a subway poster. So, hi, Caroline. Thank you for tuning in.
It's awesome to see so many previous artists to come in and watch me.
The Adobelive community is tight. So that's something that is so amazing about Adobelive is there's definitely some like recurring people coming, which is great.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fill this up so we have a nice little cluster for now before I move on to the next thing. I realized that I haven't added our fonts yet.
It's all good.
Usually I start with the color palette, then the fonts, just to make sure the most important things are already in there.
I love how you're also naming your layers. So this is great because I know a lot of us don't do it. Or did you just do it for the live, or is that something you do all the time?
No, I absolutely try to use the groups and naming because otherwise, you know, in Photoshop, you can get really crazy with layers, and instead of clicking on and off the eyeballs on each layer, yeah, that can get crazy. As you see already just by the dots, you know, how many dots we created here. So I definitely try to make sure that I name all my layers. I actually learned this from one of my college professors. Actually, he was an After Effects teacher, but because we use Photoshop to bring some layers into After Effects, we had to make sure that we name each layer, because otherwise when you bring it into After Effects, you have no idea what layer you are trying to grab.
That is true. That is a great teaching life lesson.
Definitely. I'm never going to forget that.
You're too good for us. You're naming your layers on a regular basis. So we have Caroline saying beautiful illustration. And we have Penny Doodles, who just joined us too. Hi, Penny. Thank you for joining. So should we ask like if we have some pet owners in the chat?
Yeah,
like,
that would be fun to see who and what pet they have. I know you have two cats, Yam and what's the other cat's name?
I
Don't
have
tell me.
Picasso.
Picasso.
Picasso, yeah.
Picasso, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Yam tends to make a bigger appearance on my social media because that's my cat. Picasso is my fiance's cat. So,
Oh, I see. You
yeah.
guys each have one cat.
Well, Picasso is more prone to go and see Matt, whereas Yam is literally attached to my hip. I'm actually sometimes he makes an appearance on Adobelive, but today he was a bit camera shy, probably because he has a cone right now. So
Oh, poor thing.
yeah, I know. But he's probably at my door, just like waiting for me to open the door right now. I might hear some scratching at some point.
Yeah, I had to actually close my cats upstairs in a room because otherwise I'm sure Samson would be climbing right across the screen.
So you have 2 cats and 1 dog.
Yes, that's correct. We actually just got the dog this year. And funny story that she's actually our second puppy because the first one unfortunately didn't work out. I developed severe hives all over my body. It looked like I was having the chicken pox.
Oh
And
my.
yeah, it didn't go away until we actually got rid of the dog, like moved out from the house and steam cleaned everything twice. And it's so interesting because it was the same breed of dog that we have currently, a golden retriever. And I didn't know at the time, but dog allergy is actually very different from cat allergy because when you're allergic to cats, you are basically allergic to every single cat. But when you're allergic to dogs, you are only allergic to this certain protein in their saliva, then their urine. And depending on the concentration of this protein in there, that's how much your allergy is actually going to come out.
So, see, I did not know that until our conversation to prep for this live, and I was like, wow, like there's so much things like to know with pets. It's insane. Just like
Yeah.
design, it's like infinite stuff that you can learn.
Absolutely. And I had no idea because I've never ever had a reaction to any dog before. And now we got this beautiful, sweet puppy, and I'm developing rash all over my body.
That must have been heartbreaking, actually.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie, I cried a little bit when I had to give her back.
Oh, yeah. And a little bit is probably downplaying it.
Yeah. I made my husband watch The Dog's Purpose right after that because I was so heartbroken.
That is torture. Why would you do that? So we have Kaz actually in the chat right now who just did the mind blown emoji. Kaz, was this about the design or was it about the like the allergic reaction to dogs? We have Penny Doodle saying that they have a pocket pit bull. It is a miniature Staffy Terrier mix. Oh, that must be so cute.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We have Wade saying 2 cats, Story and Meeps, and hoping to get a dog in the next few years, maybe. Oh, that will be an interesting
maybe?
story.
That should be a yes. All right.
I mean, a dog is a big commitment and different than cats, so I get it.
That is right. Actually, we didn't have dogs until this year because we never had the room, nor we didn't stay home enough to really be able to have
that's another
anything
thing.
else besides cats.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna move this a little bit aside and add in our fonts really quick since I forgot to do that earlier. This is the logo copy, so that's gonna be our first one, which is Postino. And all these fonts were selected from Adobe fonts, which I really like that they have the feature where you can actually select your options down by like font or what else? Clean looking fonts, and they give you all those options. So it can make the font search go a little bit quicker.
Oh my God, the chat is just going nuts on animals right now. It's really cool. It's really cool to see.
Tell me more. What pets do they have?
So we have Belinda saying 2 cats and 2 dogs. That's a full household. That must be so fun. We have Garrett saying 3 Maine Coons and a ragdoll cat. Oh man, that sounds like
yes.
cat heaven to me. Then Kaz is answering us saying the design is incredible and the allergy info was a bonus. So there you go. Hey, Discovery Channel on Adobelive as well. So then we have Becca saying, that's really funny. I want to get a frog. So a pet frog.
Oh, my friend had some too. It was actually cool when she was giving them some crickets to feed them.
That must be super cool, yeah.
I'm bringing the fonts over here. Change them as well. And this is gonna be our primary font or headline font, which is Porcino.
This is a really cool font.
Yeah, I thought it was super fun bringing that innocent, having fun energy back into the brand.
It's kind of I love how it's detailed, but it's also naive at the same time.
And this actually kind of shows you how a brand can be fun and quirky, but still serious at the same time.
That's it.
Especially if you pair them with certain colors, they definitely gonna give you a certain feel as well. All right, let's just do this instead. So our customer or client knows actually what types we used, not just look at them. Just adding some of the types in the name with the name.
So just a time check as you're doing that. We're already 40 minutes into this live.
Oh wow, time flies.
time flies in the Adobe sphere, and I'm like quoting Kieran. He always says that. It's fun time. It's different when you interact with the chat and you speak as you're designing. It's and it's for people who's never done this before, it's a skill. It's hard. So I'm just adding all the letters so they can see all the variations.
Yes, and I hope I had all the letters right. I sometimes have problems with that too. Not just the left and right like we said before the live.
So we have Kaz here saying that I find choosing fonts really hard. It's my Achilles heel. And do you have any tips on that? Like how you choose your fonts?
That's why I really try to do the brand strategy. And I actually have a part in the brand strategy where we are creating basically a table with the culture they want to show, the customer, the tone of voice they want to use, how the customer feels before they interact with the brand, and the impact that the brand creates. And I make my clients come up with as many adjectives as they can, because these are going to kind of describe a certain feel that helps for me to kind of pair the fonts with.
Have you ever had a client that forced a font on a project that just didn't match the vibe at all?
Thankfully, no. I think because of my process, like even at the beginning, it helps me eliminate those clients who are really looking for the pencil pusher type of designer.
Pencil pusher, I love that.
I'm gonna add our primary. No, actually, let's do the second primary color, and I'm going to change the background there so it shows up more. Let's add a smaller rectangle back there with one of our secondary colors.
So how would you describe like what you're designing right now? Is it because it's almost looks like it's like a band? Like how, yeah, explain to us what it is.
So I like to show everything horizontally because that's how we read as well, from left to right, versus, you know, from top to really bottom. Without scrolling this way, the client can see everything on one panel. And I usually try to show some website ideas or styles that they could see from there, or any type of imagery that I'm planning to use. This just makes a nicer composition and easier to view and digest than a vertical one. Almost like a film strip. Exactly. I'm pretty sure this really came from the like movie industry or something has to do with videos. If I remember correctly when I learned it.
I've never seen that before, actually. This is very interesting.
Here, I'm just gonna add that these are supposed to be the headline and quote fonts, so our customer knows which elements we are planning to use these on.
No guessing. Always give them the answers.
Exactly. And I'm gonna duplicate these and just bring them down to our copy font. And title. Here's my alphabet that I'm also gonna just pull down and just change it to Century Gothic instead of typing everything in.
And to duplicate, you just hovered on it, clicked Alt, or is it Option?
I actually just pull it down to this little plus arrow. I know some keyboard shortcuts, but not all of them, so I still use most of just the little buttons and click on each button.
I mean, that's why they're there. So there's some multiple ways to do it.
Right.
It's however you feel comfortable. So I think I do both, depending. So I can see now doing this that you absolutely need to have your layers like very well organized, because there's going to be a lot at the end.
Yes, definitely. All right. And I'm gonna probably group these as well, just to create less clutter. A new group, and I'm gonna name these brand fonts. I didn't actually group them.
So it's all good. Also, you should maybe hit save anytime soon.
That's a good call on that.
Yes. And as you're doing that, we'll just do a quick reintroduction for the new people who are just joining us. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are designing a brand that is called Fresh Paw, which is a subscription food model, high quality for dog owners, but a brand that could have some variety and other pets down the road. We are designing for Brenda. Did I get that properly? Brenda is our...
She's our ICA, yes.
That's okay. Brenda, who is our ideal client or customer, I should say.
Right.
And yes, we are here with Lilla Lorand Peachee, and we are halfway into the stream right now. And also very important, Brenda has a dog named Taco.
That's right. Just to save it food.
Yes. Everything branded. So there you go.
I'm actually gonna move my color palette down here because I'm gonna try to add some of our brand elements there.
Adam is saying, I like the Postino typeface. It's full of personality. Definitely is.
And because I created this cluster, I'm just gonna duplicate this for now and move it around a little bit to create more of these elements. That's why I try to group everything, because it's just easier to then move everything around. And I'm gonna bring our Brenda to the top.
Bring our Brenda to the top.
Let's add one more to the bottom here. And I'm gonna try to fill this little gap in a minute. But first I'm gonna change our last background to...
As is also saying, same, I love the typeface. And we have Paloma, who just got here, saying, hi everyone. Ooh, I love that pattern. Hi, Paloma.
Happy to hear. All right. Let's start duplicating some of these elements in the middle to fill everything in. Let's double up on this coconut. Ooh. Oh. All right.
So we have a question here from Becca saying, does Lilla ever use the Photoshop pattern preview to help her to make pattern? This is her favorite feature in Photoshop.
I've actually never heard of it, so that's definitely something new to me as well. I usually if I create patterns, I usually do them in Illustrator and create the little pattern tile. But I've never actually used Photoshop before to create patterns.
Actually, I didn't either. I did not know that myself. So thank you, Becca. I'll definitely look into that.
Yes, definitely. That would be probably a very useful tool right now.
But it's in this instance, I think you want the pattern to be very organic, not necessarily calculated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. Since we are going for all natural, might as well bring that back in, just a little organic flow.
There you go. It's in view and then pattern preview. And I guess you have to have that group selected. I'm not sure. Hey, we get to learn too on Adobelive. This is amazing.
Yeah. I'm always happy to hear some new tips that speed up processes. Let's do this watermelon. Exactly.
It's a two-way street.
Why am I not selecting it? Oh, it's probably in a different group. But I'm on auto select though. Oh well, let's try this one maybe. There you go. And what else should we add there?
The eggplant fills up a lot of space. That could be interesting.
Let's do an eggplant.
And I love that cabbage. Like my eye just automatically goes there.
Okay, I'll add that to the top then, since we have a little more space over there. I named it salad, but I guess it could go either way.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's a lettuce head. My bad. I said cabbage.
I mean, it kind of looks like that too, so.
We cook a lot of Asian flavored food here, so that's probably why I think I went to cabbage.
What's your favorite Asian recipe?
I'm really good at making a nice Thai peanut sauce.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
It's really good. And I like to make it spicy as well. So it's like sweet spicy.
That's the best combo.
It is the best combo. That with a lot of broccoli. I love broccoli. I know this is a weird thing to say.
Oh. This is not what I was talking about whenever you have the auto select on and you forget about it.
Happens to the best of us. Also, you're live. There's a lot going on right now.
And this is looks pretty filled. Maybe a few more dots over here because that's empty. And then we can move on to other things because I'm sure everyone is excited to move on from these illustrations.
And Caroline is saying, I totally love broccoli. There you go. Caroline, whenever I visit New York, we'll go and eat some broccoli together.
I wonder what place only serves broccoli.
Well, like there's a beef broccoli like meal that you can get at a Chinese restaurant that is to die for.
Oh, that actually sounds really good right now.
I love that. That's one of my favorite dish for Chinese food. But like, I don't want to talk about food too much because then the conversation will go there. I really want to talk about design. I mean, we are having designing some food icons, so it's hard not to.
Group layers, just to group all the elements in, because I want to add it to actually the front panel too with a different color. I'm gonna do a different color overlay.
So this is also tedious work at the beginning, but then after you can basically just take everything, then change the colors and change the font for your second stylescape, and it goes quicker.
Yes. Oh, I did not add all of them in there. That's why.
That's probably why. There you go.
I was wondering why I cannot. Okay, now I definitely can grab all of them.
There you go.
And let's change the color really quick.
Also, we're already an hour into our live stream.
Why is this not doing what I want? Do I have any other logged layers? It's like this one. Okay, now I can move it. Whew, took a minute.
It's okay. Like anything can happen in the live sphere of things.
Anything that you don't expect.
Mm-hmm. I think I like the pattern better on the with like white icons. It pops more.
Definitely. I just wanted to give some options as well. And we could probably fill that a little more. I may come back to it later, just so we can move on a little bit with some other things.
So we have Kaz giving you some love right now. He's saying you're doing amazing, Lilla.
Thank you. So I actually added in some of these food bowls that I'm gonna, if I don't keep grabbing the pattern, I'm gonna try, go ahead and using the pen tool, I'm gonna crop these bowls out so I have it without the background. And because we have 4 bowls, I'm just gonna duplicate my layer 4 times.
How much time does it usually take you to do all of your research for fonts, photos, and everything for your brand identities?
That's a good question because it always takes a little bit different amount of time depending on how difficult the brand is or how well the brand strategy went. Sometimes I actually have a clear picture in my head after going through the brand strategy, but sometimes I gotta dig a couple hours just to figure out what could work for the client.
Yes. It is hard sometimes. Have you ever had clients also changing their minds in the middle after doing the brand strategy? Like they see it and then it's like, oh, after all, that's not the direction we wanted to go in?
Yes, actually, it happened not too long ago. The client was describing their brand as very much like a hero archetype. And once I created the direction with mixed the hero and the everyman archetype, and once I created the direction, she realized that that's really not what she wanted to go in. So we had to revisit some of the color and font choices, and actually the pattern as well.
So everything.
Yeah. But that's why we do it, because this way. Let's bring this over.
I guess that's why you have revisions too.
Yes, I always give one cycle of revision for each stage that I'm creating. That way we can make sure that everybody is on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, I do these directions before I really jump into designing the logo and really working out the brand, because this also eliminates options and make sure that this is what the client was thinking of.
Do you offer mood boards too, like before jumping into the like your design phase?
Not really, because I think if I do mood boards, the clients really start focusing on just the colors themselves. And I want them to see everything really working together.
Yeah, sometimes they can get, and speaking from experience, like really attached to one thing, and that one thing does not necessarily fit with the whole idea.
Right.
And that can be hard sometimes to move around that. So right now you're tracing your bowls with the pen tool. After that, making it a selection and then removing the background.
Exactly. And I'm doing it a little bit inside of the perimeter because we have a very dark background and I don't want the balls to have like a dark outline. So because of that, I'm just a little bit inside of the rim.
Also, speaking of broccoli, there you go.
Yeah, my dog loves broccoli and carrots too. Every time I cook, she's literally right between my legs waiting for all the crumbs.
Oh,
And when I peel the carrots, I actually don't even peel it in the trash can anymore. I just peel it on the ground and she eats it all.
I love this. Picasso once tried to chew on a carrot, but that did not work. Like it was the baby carrot. He just like had it in his mouth and he would just carry it around like everywhere, more like as a toy. It was hilarious because it looked like a big like orange mustache.
That's funny.
It was so funny. It's too bad I was not quick enough to grab a picture. We have a question from Wade here. So, Lilla, which program do you use more day in, day out when designing? Photoshop, Illustrator, or any other?
It really depends on the project itself. I try to use a mix of Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign because in Illustrator I can really create any shapes and vector images. That's where I create most of the patterns, usually the logos, so that they can be really scaled up and down without pixel loss. And for quick images or any photo manipulation, I just use Photoshop. And if I do a document, for instance, brand style guides, that's when I go to InDesign.
I love InDesign. I love them all. Those are also my three most go-to softwares.
Yes, I'm actually currently learning Stager, 3D Stager too.
Oh,
So that could give me some options on creating different mockups even and scenes, lifestyle scenes. But it is definitely intimidating.
I'm actually curious to know. This is like unrelated, but I still use Dreamweaver to update websites. Does anyone still use like Dreamweaver? I'm curious.
I used to use it back in my old job, but since I'm not really a web person, I really don't like coding. I try not to do any of that.
I'm not a web person either, but sometimes I have to be a web person. And Dreamweaver, I love that it helps me actually write better code. Like it finishes my mostly HTML. Like it finishes my, let's say if I open a paragraph tab, like it'll close it for me. So I like that.
Yeah,
Kaz
usually.
is saying, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Just read the comments. It's okay.
Kaz is saying, I'm a huge Adobe XD fan. And then Carolyn saying, damn, girl. And then Wade is saying, I really like using Dreamweaver, but haven't touched it in a while. Is it still supported? Well, I mean, I use the 2021 version. It's still pretty awesome. Carrie saying, sometimes use Dreamweaver for small stuff. Yeah, it's a great program. Still works really well.
Yeah, I also use XD if I need to mock up something really quick, but I try to collaborate with other designers on website if I have a project coming in that requires that. That way I don't have to do what I don't like to do, and I can also support someone else's business.
Yes. It's funny, we have Reverb here saying, wow, it's food all day here on Behance, and this is true. The previous stream was food photography, but Reverb, this is for dog, so
Yeah, we change from humans.
Exactly. We change from humans to furry faces.
All right.
This is looking really good.
Now that I have all of them cropped out, I can delete all these shapes. I like to keep them just in case I need to go back and readjust with the direct selection tool. And I'm gonna move these over here on the top.
It's funny because Caroline is saying I'm so hungry, and as you're tracing, my stomach is going. I'm hungry too, Caro. And even if this is for dog, I would still eat. Like the shrimps looks amazing.
I ate specifically before this show, so I wouldn't be too hungry. And here is our little pet picture just to bring Taco back in. I already loaded that, and I'm gonna put it over here, just kind of almost create like a homepage effect, I think. And using the rectangle tool, I'm just gonna clip it in there so I don't have the whole photo because I don't need it.
Oh my gosh, this is such a cute picture.
Create the clipping mask, and there you go. It's already smaller. That way, you know, I can always just adjust the clipping mask depending on how much room I want here to stay. But I think that's about good right there.
I love how that little chew toy is matching Brenda's shirt.
Right. Let's create a little bar here with a headline, and I want it to be rounded. And let's select our main color and bring it forward. What should we write? Maybe a natural blend for everyday.
Yes. We have sometimes some really good copywriters in the room. So if you want to ask for the chat for help, they are pretty good. Sometimes we get some good punny stuff.
Yes, anyone has a good suggestion for headlines here, please.
So the brand name is called Fresh Paws. So can we have some help, please? And I think it's Becca. Becca usually comes up with some really good stuff, and she's here today. Putting you on the spot now, Becca.
At least it's not just me on the spot. Let's do century Gothic and change it to
Becca's saying that was one time. Feels like it was more than one time. Every time I tune in, there's some Becca magic happening. I mean, there's the one that's like always a go-to, but like saying like fwans, like if it's like fresh foods for I don't know. I'm really not good at that. I'm reading a book right now trying to help me get some better taglines.
That's a good idea. Definitely copywriting is one of my weakest areas, especially because I think just like you, English is my second language, so it can be challenging here and there.
It is challenging. Yeah, sometimes my sentence structure isn't the best, and I can see that it's like a direct translation from French.
I'm the same way with Hungarian.
But hey, we can speak more than one language, so that's great.
That's right.
So Carolyn is saying a fresh prose for fresh pause.
Oh, I like that.
That is really good. Carrie is singing doggone in one word, good. Doggone good, but doggone one word.
Wait 1 second, I'm gonna change that. Where are we? I just wanna change the color on this really quick. Where did it go?
Reverb is saying tasty treats for dogs. So that's like the direct, that's what it is. Also, we have about 30 minutes left to this stream. 30, 35.
All right, we can start on the next one in a minute then. Just so we get both of the color palettes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, Kaza has a good one. Possumly doggylicious.
I like that.
I like doggylicious. I'm so sorry about that.
How do you spell it? Dog.
Doggylicious. So Dogggy. And then licious. Lici.
Like that?
Like that, correct.
Okay. Let's put this on 2 lines then.
Oh, Wade. Oh, this is a good one. So Wade saying, I'm possibly good food, like impossibly good food.
Let's do that.
Here, if you want, I can copy it in the chat here.
All right, let's do that. I like that. Just make it to 2 lines.
This is great.
Yes,
thank you so much,
guys.
Chad. Yeah, this is great.
All right, since we only have 30 minutes left, let's start on the second one, and I'll finish this a little bit later because I wanted to add a little screen over here with some food selections that I'll just add later on.
Well, we have until like 50, right? So yeah. Then at the 50 mark, like, sorry, for me it's 4:50, which would be for Pacific time. I always don't know. I'm always, I have to do the calculation.
They are 3 hours behind.
Mm-hmm. So that would be 1:50. So that's when we start to wrap up. Okay,
I'll start on the second one, and if we still have time, I'll go back to add that. But I definitely add all of that in before we share it for a vote, because it's important for tomorrow which direction we should go with. All right.
Oh my gosh.
So
there's like a lot of good stuff in here. Reverb, their tail wagging good. It's like, where are you guys when I need some copywriting help?
Mm.
Okay, so right now we are working on the second stylescape.
This was our second font. I'll close in a little bit on this so we are more in focus with that.
Perfect.
I'll start copying some of the items from up here. I want to group these though. That's good, right? And I need the copy from here. This is why the second one goes usually a little faster, because some of the elements can be just brought over. Oops, it was already there. I just didn't realize. And let's see.
That's it.
I think that color looks better, pops better.
That looks good. More contrast that way.
Yes, definitely.
Also, it's crazy how like just changing font changes like the whole vibe.
Right? We are still in the quirky area, but very different feel. And I added some patterns here as well already, just to speed up some of our process here. Ooh.
It's a more party vibe.
Right.
So we have Firas here. So how do you choose the right typo, like a typography? So it all goes back to the brand strategy, right?
Yes, exactly. With the brand strategy, that's where I really try to get the look and feel what we are going for, and come up with some verbs that help me identify some possibilities. Then I either go to Google Fonts or Adobe Fonts to search for some of the type. But I especially like Adobe Fonts because they have already some pre-selected items where if you are looking for a clean font, you just click a button and it only gives you some of the clean options. What color should we have here? Should we have the same teal?
I like it, the teal.
Teal? Okay, let's do the teal.
It gives a great pop.
I'll copy that pattern again. It's a little bit easier to repeat than our first one.
This one's already, it's like the one image is already a
right.
pattern itself. So
now I'll group these. And I'll duplicate it to the bottom here, just to carry it over to our other backgrounds.
Are your files like super heavy after all this because there's so many layers?
Yes, they are huge. Speaking of, I should probably save again.
Yes. What is it? Save, stretch, have a sip of water?
That's a good call.
Yes, me too. There you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
That doesn't only goes for us, it goes for everyone too. If you're working alongside with us, save your files. Maybe do a little trip around your office. Have a sip of water.
I'm gonna angle this a little here, just to be a little bit different from our first one. Move the pattern a little bit in. All right, that looks good.
So do you have some brand strategy books that you would recommend to anyone who might be starting their process with brand strategy and visual identity?
I really liked anything by Martin Neumeyer. I'm
Oh,
pretty
yes.
sure that's your all-time favorite too, as I know
Yes.
you did his course.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely helped me a lot. And another book that I really liked is How to Build a Brand, and I think Finian Gayhart, I might be butchering his name, but he is the writer of that, and it just walks you through from brand naming to building it up, which I also liked.
Brand naming, that is so hard.
Yes.
Is
Some of
there
the
one
clients.
book? Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say, like, some of the clients already have their names, so I don't have to worry about that.
That's true. Sometimes, like for me personally, some clients will come and they have a name in mind, but then as the brand strategy progresses, we need to change the name because the name doesn't fit where they want to lead the brand, which
Right.
is like an interesting challenge to have. Actually, it happens often with my clients. I don't know if it's because I'm steering them in one direction, but at the same time, it's based on their answers. But I was going to ask, is there one book from Martin Neumeyer that really stood out to you?
Mm, that's a good question. Probably
Because
the
I'm
brand flip.
the brand
Um,
flip. Hold on, I can show it. I have it. That's the brand flip. And yes, I love his books as well. It's really an easy read. The Brand
yeah.
Gap was my favorite.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I like all of his books, and like you can't go wrong with them.
No,
Brand funds. That's what I wanna.
and it's easy to
Okay.
like bring into your workflow as well. Like that way of thinking, it's well explained, like in the books.
Right. Um, you have my phones there. And I'm gonna change this to our, I think it's Benwick. That was our second font here.
I think I personally like the second stylescape better.
I do too a little bit. It's funner.
It is fun, yeah.
I don't need this line nor this one anymore.
I think it because of the pattern too, it can offer like a wider range of product because when your pattern is food, then it just has to stay food, whereas this it could go
Right.
into toys and stuff like that as well.
Yes, definitely. That's an idea.
Toys, carriers, vitamins. There's so much that like pets need.
Doggy and kitty heaven.
Yes.
And this was Marvin.
Kaz is saying, I have FOMO now. I need to buy those books. Yes, you definitely should, Kaz. Knowing your process, I think your mind will be blown.
Let's change this first. And then this font, we really don't have any lowercase, so that's why the uppercase is there. One, so I'm gonna move this there. And that was the bottom one. I'll move this here. So everything is somewhat organized amongst these layers.
It's okay. You're doing a lot in a short amount of time. So you can organize when the camera's off, like later.
Right. I don't know why I thrive on organization. I get actually anxious if I don't do that.
When we moved into our new house, it was like the opportunity to do a Marie Kondo of everything. My house is like, and it's been a year and a half, and I can say that I was able to maintain it. Everything is in containers, has like, it's like you open the closets or anything, and it's all like, and I love it. I love it so much. But I won't name my layers. So go figure. So Kaz is saying, I love both. It's hard to choose at first, feels more gourmet. I guess the first one feels more gourmet, then the second feels a bit more organic and very fun, hard to choose. That is true.
Yes, I think the second one is more in the innocent type, archetype itself, while the first one still sticks with the gourmet experience.
And then Becca saying, I walked away. What books? So any Marty Neumeyer books, both Lilla and I are a fan of. So they're great for brand strategy. And just research Marty Neumeyer as well. He helped Steve Jobs build the Apple brand. So he knows what he's talking about. Funny fact about Brand and Marty Neumeyer, he said that for a long time ago, like while before Apple had like the white packaging with just the product on it for all of their products, that he had suggested that, I think 20 years ago, and then they said no, like that will never work. And then they adopted it like 10 years later, and it worked. And then he was like, told you. Yeah. Caroline is saying the second brand is feeling more playful, but she likes the icons of the first one. Penny is saying, I like the second, so cute, and makes me think my pet's tummy will be happy. That is very important. That's the main goal of the brand. So this is great. If they were both on the shelf, personally, I would stop and look at it at a pet store.
Which one would you pick then?
I would probably buy the second one. But I'm not the innocent archetype though, so I don't know. I could say like all our clients say is that, can you do a mix of both? We really like both. Can you do a mix of both? Then you're like, well,
sure, if you pay me extra.
I mean, sometimes it does not always, you can't always combine.
Yeah, I think it would be hard to combine these. They are very different at the same time.
Definitely. I'm having a hard time. So it also depends on my pet's needs, right? Like Yam is always sick. So there's always something going on. Hence why he has a cone right now. So I would probably go for him, the first one. But then for Picasso, who's just, there. I love Picasso. He just doesn't like to be touched. So he's the type of cat that is kind of like royalty, where he's just there and he's like, look at me, I'm pretty and I will take over your house, but don't touch me. It's all an illusion, you know? So that would definitely be the second one because Picasso doesn't have any health issues or anything. So
yeah, my older one, Moeller, who is a ragdoll mix, he is more of the grumpy grandpa who only wants to be touched when he wants to be touched.
that's it.
Versus my younger one who literally follows me everywhere I go.
We have very similar cat situation going on.
I like these food bowls. They
give a lot of
perfect.
life to the design too. Well, the design also makes them pop so much. Both designs.
Let's add a little drop shadow to them too, to make them a little more
good photography. Yes, good photography is so important for a brand.
Absolutely.
One cannot go without the other. You can have a solid design brand, but if the photography is subpar, it's gonna play against you. There you go. You're adding some prompt questions.
Oh, I'm missing an F over there. Now change this back to our secondary font.
Do you feel like we should change I forgot her name.
Brenda.
Brenda, there you go. As a color shirt. Should we make it another color? Because it stands out a lot in this scenario.
Yeah, I would have to kind of clip her shirt for that.
I feel like that pink or like coral color that you have would look really great there.
That would be. Although I was gonna create some buttons right here, but that would still go pretty well. Oh, let's move this into our stylescape actually. Move our Brenda up top.
Move our Brenda.
Oh. I did not want to do that.
There you go. Guessing Brenda. Yes, I definitely had a brain fart just now. I'm sorry, everyone who's watching.
Let's do some buttons so our Brenda could select Taco's favorite.
There you go. She can shop easily. So before this this live, I was actually attending a webinar on a good website strategies and design to make sure that your clients will like buy in your services. And it was with Chris Do, who we all know Chris Do. And he was saying that a good website strategy is to have only one color for all of your buttons on a website. And not have that color repeated elsewhere, just buttons. So then it's very intuitive for the people who navigate your website to know that this is a button. Even if you use like headers or a link or something like that and it goes somewhere, that's a no-no to just have one color for all the buttons, which I thought was like interesting.
That is definitely interesting, because I've heard other opinions about it, that you want to have like secondary button colors too for things that are not as important, since you are also trying to navigate your viewer throughout the page. That way, this actually call to action color really becomes call to action color. I always try to add a call to action color for that reason, so it can be used for buttons or highlighting text or anything that is important. I think that looks nice.
There you go. That looks good. Yeah, we have great balance now with that coral.
Yeah.
Also, this is one of my favorite colors, so I'm definitely biased right now.
Mine is the teal.
I like the teal too.
And I have some pet pictures over here too already loaded.
Oh.
That we can add to our third panel. And I thought maybe adding just them into like circles, so it brings back that rounded type and the roundness of these plates.
That is a good idea.
Let's put them away for a second so I can create those circles. And this is one thing I keep forgetting, that you always have to add a color fill to these, because otherwise you cannot create the clipping mask. Because there's nothing that would fill it in.
I did not know that.
These up a little. All right. Let's start clipping our pet pictures.
For anyone who is new to clipping in Photoshop, can you explain what you're doing?
So I created these shapes, and I moved my image layer above the shape. So when I hit create clipping mask, it just automatically creates that or puts the picture into that frame or element that I just created. This way it's really, you can create different frames for your images very quickly.
So you put your image in front of the Lisp and then you double click and then choose clipping mask?
Yes, I usually just right click on the layer itself.
Right click, okay, perfect. There you go.
I like this doggy. So happy.
He's, oh yeah, all happy. He's ready to eat.
It looks like my dog.
So I was saying, is that like how she is when you're peeling carrots?
Oh yes. She's eagerly waiting, and because we taught her to heel like between our legs, more like a defensive kind of healing, she always tries to come between your legs and just like look up at you as you are doing it.
Oh, that can be uncomfortable.
I'm making it work.
There you go. I mean, that's super cute.
I train her and she trains me.
That's it. That looks so good. Super cute.
Little cutie pies.
That little kitten there. Oh my.
Let's minimize these
That's
a little bit.
dangerous.
Any headline ideas from the chat for our last panel here, maybe?
Chat, we need your help. Get your copywriting hat again. I'll go back to our previous suggestions. We had the fresh prose for fresh pause from Caroline, which we liked.
That sounds good. Let's just change the color on it so we can actually see the type.
There's always a small delay too with the chat, so
right.
For us. Oh, Kaz is saying, I love the Pomeranian. Oh, I can't say that. Pomeranian. That was a nice tongue twist. Testing my bilingualism on camera, Kaz.
That looks about right on this one. I think we still have a little bit of time. We could go back to the first one to add in our little home screen or like a phone screen in there that I was thinking of adding.
Yeah, for sure. We still have about like 10, 12 minutes to the stream before we start to wrap up. So Becca saying fresh food for your furry friends. That works too.
Yeah. Let's just create these screens really quick. We have most of the copy already.
Thank you, Becca. Always
yes,
to the rescue.
Thank you. Yes, definitely.
Oh, Caroline said, I actually meant we need to come up with some fresh prose for fresh pause. It was not a tagline suggestion. Oops. Oh, well.
Should we change that? Well, it worked out though.
It works well. Or could it be fresh. I really don't know. I'm like drawing a blank right now.
While you think, I'll keep doing this.
Yeah, I'll think about something. For anyone, I guess like I'm only halfway into the book for better taglines. And for anyone who's interested, this is it. It's called Pop. And it's literally to help you have some. It says create the perfect pitch, title, and tagline for anything. So Pop.
Oh, that's a good one. I need to add it to my list as well.
It is a good one from Sam Horn, author of Tung Fu. And Tung Fu is like when you combine two words together and then you create like a new word with it. So example would be like Go-Gurt, which is yogurt on the go. That's the product. But then it's like go and then Gurt. So yogurt, Go-Gurt.
I like that.
It's so good. So basically it's like the first syllable of a word. You try to match it with something else and then see if it sticks. Another example was like the mittens that they created for couples who want to hold hands. So they called it smittens.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That is like so good. So yeah, it's like a good book, but I have and then it's like all the strategies on how to be able to think that way. But there's a process for it. And unfortunately, I'm not there yet. So I'll get back to you, Adobelive, with some better copywriting headers for 2023. This is a promise. Caroline too is French first, so she says French is her first language, so do not listen to me. That's so funny. Wade is saying fresh paws to feed that hungry maw. Aw, yes, that's funny. Or ah for fresh paws.
What food should we have there? I have a few options. I have strawberry bowl. I have just like a raspberry bowl.
Berries.
Some carrots, even the raspberries or strawberries.
I think strawberries and carrots go well together. Like looking at the colors that you have for that panel. You called them panels before, right?
Yes. Let's see. Carrot pops a little bit more, probably. But I like the bowl on this. Let's go with the strawberry. And I want to create a select button there as well. Oops. Do you know how I can grab the little, sliders to around the corners if they are over here? For some reason, I can't seem to be able to grab them.
Do you have to be on your direct solution too? So the A, like the...
I just needed to increase the size a little bit. There you go.
So Reverb is asking, do dogs eat strawberries? I think so.
Oh, mine loves it. That's her favorite snack. Actually, one time we were at a market looking for actually treats for her. She ended up going for the strawberry stand instead of the treat stand.
Oops. And Reverb is saying, I might eat that dog food. I think we all will. It's all produce that we eat too. So
yes, it's all natural, so it's good for humans and puppies.
So Wade is saying too, for the rounded corners, you can do that in the properties panel tools too. Panel 2, sorry, not panel tools, panel 2.
Great. Yeah, I couldn't grab it, and I wanted to create a rounded corner there too, but I just couldn't quite select it. I'll go back to that. And I need a select.
So Jack is also saying, the live corners, there's a setting in preferences that you can adjust so you can round smaller corners. I did not know that. Thank you so much.
I gotta look into that because it's clearly not showing right for me right now.
It's crazy because all of this work that you do in Photoshop today, I would do in Illustrator.
I guess I'm just used to Photoshop at this point because I created my first one in here and I have a template that I just keep reusing.
Again, it's like work efficiently, right? Whatever works for you. The client doesn't know.
Oh, they don't know.
Exactly. As long as you present them with a good brand, they're happy.
All right, and let's add some toggle buttons there so they could kind of scroll between the actual options.
I like that repetition. And that's cool because you have the like the dot like that is also in your pattern, so it's perfect.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good. What am I looking good for my ears? And I'll just duplicate this to bring it over to the other side.
So we have about 5 minutes left to this stream for today. It's crazy how time flew by quickly.
Oh, it was a lot quicker than I expected.
Right? If you have some questions for Lilla in the chat, right now is your chance to do it.
All right, that looks pretty good there for our two options. I'll make sure to fill that in a little bit more and run these corners. But what do you think?
It's looking really good. What do you think, chat? Which one do you like? Which one would you buy for your pet, for our pet owners in the room today? So would you like to do maybe a quick recap of everything that we have done today and talk about what we will be working on tomorrow?
Yes, absolutely. So today we worked on two brand identity design directions called Stylescapes for a pet gourmet all natural food subscription called Fresh Paw. And our chat helped us select our color palettes from our 4 options. And that's what we ended up going with. And tomorrow we are gonna dive into the logo design itself and create some packaging design for our products. So all these patterns are gonna come back on the packaging.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. Do you want to share your brand strategy document that you created at the very beginning?
Yes, give me 1 second to toggle back to that.
And save your file too.
Oh, good call.
And as you're doing that, we have Stefan saying, wow, these look great. We have Josie saying, they both look great. Reverb is saying, I like the running puppies. Becca is saying, I really like the first one, but I think that's just because of my personal preference. It feels a bit more sophisticated. Wade is saying, these look great, Adam. This has come together really well. So lots of love in the chat right now for you, Lila, and your designs.
Thank you. And I brought back our brand strategy document that we created at the beginning, or we had at the beginning to guide us today. And tomorrow we are gonna use Illustrator mainly and do the mockups on packaging in Photoshop.
That's going to be so fun. Always keeping Brenda, I won't forget her name tomorrow, don't worry, in mind. And also for tomorrow, if you're thinking of joining, maybe check out some brand archetypes so then you can join into our conversation when we talk about that.
That would be a fun conversation there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific for part 2 with Lilla. Join us as she shows you how to create mockups and how to present them to your clients, which will be so interesting. And Adobelive will be back tomorrow for a Photoshop Creative Challenge with Wade, who was our brilliant chat moderator today. So thank you so much, everyone, and see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.